Insane altcoin price predictions can come true during this crypto bull market, and in this video I'm going to give my own predictions across a huge range of different altcoins, because right now there's an insane imbalance across altcoin prices. This is the total 3 chart, which sits at all-time highs while many other altcoins sit at lows. I'm also going to talk about this, which is the altcoin cheat sheet. By understanding this, you're going to be able to identify where the opportunities are, as well as when to be taking profits on different altcoins, because guess what, different altcoins will run hot at different times, and if you can identify this, there's a good chance that you can make some significant gains during this bull market ahead. Do me a favor, hit the like button and let's get into today's video. Now guys, before we dive in to find out what's going on in Bitcoin and the altcoins, because they are very close to breaking into all-time high territory and igniting this crypto market once more, just a quick disclaimer. Nothing I say in this video is financial advice. Everything I say is for entertainment purposes only. If you wish to invest in crypto, you should understand that it's risky and you can lose money. So don't lose money that you can't afford to lose, and always do your own research before investing in anything. Now that we got that out of the way, let's crack on with it. Now, before we go and check out the altcoin cheat sheet, that's going to give you a little bit of an understanding of how this market works, as well as where I think some of the best opportunity lies, and other coins where I think they're probably a bit past it. Let's check out what's going on in Bitcoin, because it's kind of holding the keys to where we're at right now. Okay, Bitcoin, as you can see, is back up at all-time highs. Near enough. Okay, it has been slightly higher in the future, but right now, as we see it, we are above the highest weekly close of all time, which was just a few weeks ago, back in August, where we sat at $119,000. As you can see right now, we are about $1,000 above that, and there's a very good chance that over the weekend, we push Bitcoin towards and above all-time highs once more. We can see that this has happened time and time again over the past few weeks and months. In fact, every single time we're kind of breaking those previous highs, we go into a very strong upwards momentum. Okay, these kind of moves like this are probably what we're going to be expecting for Bitcoin, and that's very key because it's going to wake up the altcoins. Now, I know right now you're thinking this crypto bull market's BS. Okay, you know, Bitcoin's been running and Ethereum's been running, but the altcoins in general haven't been doing that well. Well, okay, in general, many altcoins haven't been doing that well, but this is the total 3 chart, and actually it's not as bad as you might have been led to believe. In fact, this total 3 chart, as you can see, sits at all-time high, and for those of you who are unaware, total 3 is the market cap of crypto, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. And as you can see right now, it sits around $1.15 trillion. Okay, that's a lot of money stored in lots of different altcoins. And this is creating what's called a cup and handle pattern. You can see that basically creates a cup from the previous bull market high, then it creates the handle. And from here, we are more than likely going to break out. So if Bitcoin breaks that all-time high, this will also break above here. Now, just for context of what we can expect to happen next, this is what happened last time. Total 3 clean broke above the previous bull market high. This is the bull market high from back in 2018. Okay, you can see it breaks above, very, very strong rally above this area. The target for this particular chart pattern would take the total 3 up to around $2 trillion. Now that is a lot of money. And you're probably thinking, well, yeah, but there's a lot of altcoins. That's true. But a lot of the largest or ultra large cap altcoins have already been running strongly and probably don't have that much more upside in them. This is what I'm going to talk about first in terms of my price predictions for the ultra large cap alts, and then we're going to start to look at where the new opportunity kind of lies beyond those. Okay, this is nothing personal against any particular altcoin. Some of these I hold, some of them I don't. Okay, I'm just going to talk about how this cycle works, because this total 3 chart right now is confirming for us the path to altcoin season. Okay, the path to altcoin season is, in my opinion, intact. We've seen phase 1, an incredible bull market for Bitcoin. As you can see, we've had an incredible bull market for Bitcoin since 2022, where Bitcoin sat $15,500 or so. Ethereum then wakes up next. We've seen Ethereum massively outperform Bitcoin over the past few months. Ever since April lows, $1,300, Ethereum up nearly 4x. And then what about the large cap altcoins? Well, what about them? The large cap altcoins have been doing pretty well as well. As you can see, XRP, from the lows of the bear market, is currently sitting up 871%, which is 9.5x. Solana, from bear market lows, is currently up nearly 29x, which is insane. So here's the thing. we need to start thinking about where the best opportunity is and the price predictions for certain coins, because some of them aren't maybe what you're expecting. I know, you've been told that XRP and Solana and whatever is going to have a way bigger upside from here, but I'm not so sure. Let me first of all just show you across to this particular chart pattern. Okay, it's not really a chart pattern, I kind of made it up with a few boxes, but I think it's pretty evident and it shows you how most altcoins will run. Okay, this is Solana in the last bull market, and right now Solana's obviously in another cycle, and you can kind of draw these boxes onto anything. This green zone down here represents the accumulation zone. Okay, during the accumulation time, it's very damn stressful. And this is actually where we are right now for the majority of altcoins. The majority of the altcoins that you're holding in your wallet right now being like, should I even be holding that coin because it's up 2x this week and down 70% next week? Well, let me just show you. This is what Solana did before the last bull market. It went up 7 or 8x, only to then come down within a few weeks, a whopping 77%. Good enough, right? And then it goes up into different phases. Many altcoins right now sit in this green box. It's a very stressful time to be in the market, but guess what? It's the price that we pay for being early. Many people are getting confused by this, and they're panicking, and they're getting out of these coins to then go and enter into coins that are up into this blue box up here. That is the wrong way round of doing things, because you don't take from the poor down here and move it to the rich. You do the Robin Hood thing, you take from the rich and you give it to the poor. You get me? So don't get things mixed up. Remember, ultra large altcoins tend to be higher up into these areas right now than many of the smaller cap altcoins. Now, here's one other thing that you really must understand before we kind of get into what these other phases are. Lots of people right now will be like, yeah, but Solana has this going for it. XRP, the same story. Ethereum is going to be adopted by Wall Street and everyone's going to start to use it. That might be so, but just consider this. The price goes higher because ultimately people are buying something. Yeah, there's market maker manipulation, there's other fundamental elements changing, but during this period of time, fundamentally, Solana barely changed. Okay, Solana barely changed during that period of time, and the price went from $2 to $250 because Solana fundamentally wasn't that different from here to what it was here. Now, the longer these prices go up, think about what is really happening. The people who bought in here are making more and more money. Now imagine right now, you put $1,000 into Solana down here. Now, you go all the way up. This is 190x, near enough. It's what Solana did after that 70% pullback. So if you're concerned about some of your coins right now, probably shouldn't be. Now, think about this. If you put in $1,000 right there and you had the minerals to be able to hold all the way up to here, which probably would have been a pretty tough job. I'm sure many of you might not be able to handle that kind of stress. Not sure I would be able to either. This is now $190,000 in the hands of a little Timmy who bought down there in that green box. Now, think about that. That means that there needs to be 190 more people to go and buy in up here for the value of $1,000. And that's just one person. What about the person who put in $10,000 who now wants to sell $1.9 million? Or the person who put in $100,000 who wants to sell $19 million? Fundamentally, it's so difficult for that to happen. Also, JP Morgan didn't make money from buying from little Timmy who bought down in the green box, okay? JP Morgan and stuff, yes, might kind of come in during this zone and force prices up a bit, but they're definitely not buying the very, very tops, okay? So just be cautious of coins that might be running a little bit hot. Also, don't get too attached to coins. It's very easy for us to get attached to the coins that have been doing better than the coins that have been doing worse. Okay, you probably love right now that you're holding Solana compared to holding WorldCoin or something else. But ultimately, WorldCoin will perform much better than Solana from here because WorldCoin sits in a different area of this altcoin cheat sheet. Okay, now in terms of price predictions, because what we're seeing from Bitcoin, past the altcoin season, phase 1, Bitcoin, phase 2, Ethereum, phase 3, ultra large cap coins. It says large cap, but ultra large cap coins. We've already seen Solana do a 27x. There is only so many more times it can go up before all those guys who are buying in at the bottom start to take massive profits, okay? It then makes it really hard to see that coin going up much further without having to inject huge amounts of liquidity when there's so many other options out there. So in terms of price predictions, Bitcoin for me probably goes to about 140 to 150. And guys, don't get me wrong, I could be wrong completely. Maybe it goes even higher, but I'm not going to get too excited about where Bitcoin is. It's already gone up massively. Tons of people, pretty much everyone who is holding Bitcoin right now is in profit. That's a dangerous time. Okay, particularly as altcoins start to look more appealing, more exciting when Total 3 breaks higher. Altcoins will drain liquidity from Bitcoin. Yes, you'll get more entries, more new people entering, but they typically won't be able to prop up the price that much. So Bitcoin will kind of start to stall out, as it does previously in the last bull market. Ethereum then will also continue to rally, but Ethereum is already up from bear market lows where it touched $900. It's now up 4.5x from there. Therefore, it's unlikely to go beyond, probably in my opinion, $8,000 to $9,000. Now, these are still great returns if you've already been in them, but just be cautious of people giving you crazy price predictions. Trust me, okay, I'm a YouTuber. I understand the importance of trying to get viewers to watch my videos. And particularly when I was a newer YouTuber with less people watching my videos, the temptation was always there to give insane price predictions for coins. Therefore, if you want to keep up to date with like realistic content and everything else, make sure you're subscribed to the House of Crypto, okay? Because I'm going to keep it real. I'm not going to tell you complete lies like everyone else is doing just so that you can come and click a video, okay? So just be careful because people will try and hook you to try and make you watch things when, you know, they're promising things that probably aren't going to come true. Now, again, Solana, I love this coin, okay? I made a lot of money holding this. I did buy it on a video at the end of December back in 2022 for something like $8.20. I made a lot of money. I sold a lot to go and buy Sui around September of last year. Made lots of videos about that, documenting that happening. But I do think it's kind of later in the day for Solana. Solana right now is $229. Where do I think it goes? $700 to $900 probably. Okay, being a little bit cautious with some of these larger cap coins. And that's because they sit, in my opinion, in this blue zone. Now, this green zone is the accumulate the lows. The orange zone is the do nothing zone. Just relax. Everything's fine. Stop panicking. You don't need to rush to take profits. You haven't sat through like 9 months of being in the red to try and skim a 30% profit. Okay, you didn't come for that. This is the chill out. Everything's probably going to be okay zone. Okay, once you get beyond this, you then get into maybe I should start to skim some profit zone. Okay, this is the skim some profit zone area up here, and then this is the get the hell out of here zone. Okay, you don't want to be in here when everybody is trying to get in here. These are the coins when everyone's talking about them on any given day. Last week it was like Asta or Astra or whatever it is, I don't know. A few weeks ago it was Hyperliquid and Pengu, and then eventually, you know, it's going to be another coin. Not saying that those coins can't go up again. You can skim profits. Maybe you can re-enter if they get back down into these accumulation zones, or maybe into the do nothing zones. And for those of you who are wondering, this is the you effed up kind of zone. Okay, you got up way too late because you got greedy or whatever it is. Okay, you weren't in early enough, you panicked, whatever it might be. Okay, so typically you just need to identify where our coins or your coins are sitting. Now, I'm not telling you right now that if you're holding altcoins that are in this blue zone that you should 100% be selling them, because right now we are still seeing the earlier phases of this kind of bull market play out, where the larger caps are outperforming. So it wouldn't shock me at all to see Solana breaking up here and putting in some bigger gains, along with Ethereum and maybe XRP and whatever else, over the next few kind of days, week ahead or more. If Bitcoin breaks that all-time high, there's a very good chance that Solana, XRP, Ethereum, whatever, go with it. And then very quickly after that, I think they hit up towards this red zone. I'm going to be taking profits, and then I'm going to be starting to look to re-enter into coins that are still down in this green zone. And there are many, many, many coins that sit in that green zone right now, okay? That just haven't seen the excitement that other coins have seen. And I'm just going to show you a few of them right now, okay? Aethir, as you can see, right now, sits in and around this green zone. It's never really been able to break beyond into the do nothing zone. It still just sits in an accumulation zone. And by the way, yes, it had a sell the news event, but that's only because the NASDAQ company that basically put $360 million into a decentralized asset treasury company basically wanted to drive the price down to give their investors a good entry. Now, there's over $300 million to start performing buybacks into Aethir, which sits there right now in the accumulation zone with a circulating market cap of $621 million. Now, how do I identify how high Aethir can go? Because obviously it sounds really bullish. It sounds amazing. And it is. It's a great project. Okay, they're doing some really amazing things. But just to keep things realistic for where we might be able to go in the future, let's just look back to the previous bull market at a deep-in project that did quite well back then. Okay, the one that lots of people were talking about back then. Now people are starting to talk about Aethir. Render in the last bull market had a pretty good one. You can go to market cap. This is coinmarketcap.com. You can see the Render's all-time highs are at $5.2 billion. Okay, $5.2 billion. Render has an annual revenue of around $8 million. Aethir has an annual revenue right now of $150 million. Aethir is in a far more suitable kind of area of the markets, in my opinion. Okay, they do decentralized AI compute, which requires access to H100 GPUs from NVIDIA. Render does do decentralized compute, but doesn't have access to the same GPUs. AI is where the demand is right now, and Aethir is one of the only ones that's serving it, which is why Aethir might be a superior product and do better. Okay, so at this particular market cap, 600 something million for Aethir, to go to Render all-time highs is around a 9x from here. Okay, so Aethir realistic price prediction from around here, in my opinion, is something like a 9x. Now, I know many people have been led to believe that 9x is just not a good amount of returns. However, I think that's fairly insane, okay, because there's a reasonably good chance that this puts in a 9x, okay, a very reasonable chance of the 9x from Aethir. Okay, because fundamentally it's incredibly strong and it's just not getting that much excitement and attention right now compared with the likes of some other coins that have been pumping over the last few kind of months or more. Now, others like Sui, where would we put Sui right now? Do you think it goes in the green box, in the accumulation zone? I would probably argue it might be in the do nothing zone. Okay, I don't think it's necessarily got beyond the orange do nothing zone. Okay, maybe at times it's been up into the skims and profits zone, which might be up here, but ultimately it's still looking pretty good. How high does Sui go? Well, it's a layer 1 blockchain. It's got a $12.9 billion market cap. Now, what other layer 1 blockchains performed well in the last bull market and in fact had fairly similar attention or excitement buzzing around them? Solana. In terms of market cap, last bull market, it went up to $70 billion. This bull market has gone up already to around $123 billion. So Sui, to do a 10x, means it must go to the same market cap that Solana was at back in early 2025. How possible is that? Well, I go across to DeFiLlama.com and I see the adoption that Sui is getting. TVL right now sits up here, $3 billion. Pretty good. Okay, value locked on chain, total value locked, $3 billion. Weekly stablecoin market cap, $730 million. What about Solana? I would expect this to be 10 times bigger, maybe, but actually it's not 10 times bigger. 15 billion in terms of TVL is only like 4 or 5 times bigger. Stablecoin market cap, yeah, there's a lot more flows going on Solana. So yes, Solana's getting a lot more usage, but Sui could make up some ground on that. Therefore, 10x for Sui would be kind of top of the absolute range. Maybe, however, it does 5 to 6x. As you can see, in terms of what's happening on the charts right now, we have a nice kind of wedge pattern forming. Looks pretty good to me. We're going to see accumulation and following up from Sui. Incredible product, incredible ecosystem, one of the most talented teams across crypto coming from Meta or Facebook. Okay, a huge range of different products are being built on Sui right now. Some of the best teams, the smartest people that I've been meeting at Token 2049 in Singapore, at KBW in Korea, they're building products on Sui. Sui is a fantastic ecosystem. But just to keep things realistic, look at market caps, look at where other coins have been in the past to identify what's realistic here. I think Sui does 6 to 10x if things go bananas in this bull market, but that's still good. Yeah, that's still decent. And again, Chainlink, where does it go? What does it do? Okay, again, look at the accumulation zones. Now, obviously, there's not a set science here, but you can see this fairly clearly. Okay, this is quite clearly where most altcoins are sitting right now. And if you look at Chainlink during this period of time, there was times up and down, 48%, 50%. It's then gone and bounced around in this zone, which is the kind of do nothing zone, which sits probably around here. And then they get into the sort of the skim profit zone. And then beyond that, you know, the take profit zone or the absolute exit, the full blown bull market up there. Now, As I said, this is not an exact science, but by doing this, you're going to be able to identify whether or not it's time to be rushing into Chainlink right now, or whether it's better to find another opportunity that's still down in and around this green zone. Sui, for example, sits up in this kind of mid-yellow zone here, but a very similar blockchain, again from founders who came originally from Facebook's Meta team, is Aptos. World Liberty Finance, just a few days ago, Donald Trump Jr. announced on stage, I was watching it, saying that Aptos was going to have its own pair with USD1, okay, which is part of World Liberty Finance, which is part of Donald Trump's crypto organization. Aptos sits in the green zone, okay? During the green zone, you get ups and downs, like we saw on Solana, we get significant ups and downs, etc. Now, this, to me, makes sense to be a much better kind of investment from this lower range than others. I was talking about this on the charts just a few weeks ago, just last week, and since then it's been up like 31%. Buying into lows down here, far better, in my opinion, than ever getting in to the excitement and the ups up here, okay? As this bull market rages on, you might just think that it's easy and everyone's going to make money, but they don't, okay? Most people don't, because they do the wrong thing over and over again. They rush to buy what everybody talks about, and then they rush to sell what kind of looks a bit quiet on the chart. If you do things the other way around, if you are able to identify the strong fundamental coins and buy into the lows, life is going to be so much better for you, okay? It's going to be so much better for you than it is for most people, because most people can't help themselves. Most people go to crypto bubbles on any given day and they're like, ZEC is up 177%. That must be a good one. They go to it, they go and buy it, and then they wonder why they then are down 60% next week or more, okay? Just an example. Don't know anything about what this is, okay? But you get the picture. And this happens all across the board. Another kind of message that I'm really trying to get across here is I know it's been stressful and worrying to be holding coins that sit in and around this green zone, but I must get this message across, okay? This was the accumulation zone for Solana in the last bull market, okay? This was 2021. This was like August 2020, okay? During August 2020, Bitcoin was here, okay? August 2020, Bitcoin was sort of up around here, $35,000. It then kind of continued to rise. Ethereum also was sat somewhere up around here. At the same point in time, Solana was down here. It was around $1, okay? It had been up, it had been down. Many altcoins you're holding right now are sat in and around this zone. If you're selling coins down here to go and buy XRP or Sui or whatever decides to pump in the next week or two, you are literally taking money from coins here and you're putting it somewhere like this. It's crazy, okay? It's crazy in my opinion. You need to get out of this habit, because the chart isn't the indicator right now of what a good or a bad project is. It's an indicator to show you where the market makers are trying to guide you, and you don't necessarily want to be following them around, okay? You want to be making your own decisions based on fundamentals, strong kind of ideas of what's happening, etc. Now, again, you can continue to look at coins. This is Ondo Finance. Again, hasn't really been a huge amount. To me, this sits sort of in the orange zone, the do nothing zone. I still think it goes up. It's kind of at these lows down here. It's probably not bad to be getting into it, but I just think there's probably more opportunity out there. Other coins, as you can see, have been through full cycles already. EOS was in this kind of like accumulation zone here, the do nothing zone, that probably scraped some profits. It actually probably hit up into the take profit zones. Right now, it's kind of come down to a do nothing kind of zone. Again, how high does it go? Probably from current market cap $300-something million. Again, has the potential to go up to sort of 10x's, 15x's, etc. Now, where do the main kind of massive gain opportunities come from? Probably getting into kind of mid-cap coins that are sitting down in and around these zones. You can see being bought up. Beam, again, is about to announce its own decentralized asset treasury company, which basically means millions of dollars or hundreds of millions of dollars from Wall Street, NASDAQ type companies being able to invest into these projects. Now, I don't hold all these different projects that I've been talking about. I'm literally just identifying the opportunities across the market. Now, again, smaller cap coins, many of them look horrible right now, look dead, and that's because part of the altcoin season. Many of these won't really see much activity or excitement until you and everyone else starts to feel euphoric and excited, which, to be honest, isn't really that far away from happening. Humans AI, as you can see, heart down in these lows, not looking particularly exciting. But guess what? Every single time it started to pick up in the past, within a few weeks, it rallies 8, 9x or more. PAL AI, again, looks horrible. If you are newer to crypto, if you've been in crypto for longer, then it might look pretty appetizing, pretty decent, okay? Sensei, again, sits at these lows down here. everything is effectively in that green zone, okay? It looks very dramatic, but that's because these have got really small cap coins, okay? Sensei sits in that green box, okay? This is the orange do nothing zone. This is the where you start to take profit zone. And then this is the kind of the red box, okay? With the coin with Sensei's market cap, okay, to get up into this kind of red zone, 30x, 40x is possible. But guess what? In order to be able to experience the potential to make 30 or 40x's, you also have to be able to kind of put up with a 10x towards the upside, followed by a 90% dip towards the downside, and all sorts of other things that go on in the middle. Most of the coins were top performers in the last bull market, like Gala, like Mana Decentraland, like Solana, like Pancake, and whatever else. They were all chopping up and down like crazy. But guess what? Most people weren't in the crypto market at that time. They never experienced that pain and that fear and that worry. Yes, it's been difficult, this bull market so far, but really, many coins that have been struggling during these periods of time will suddenly wake up and things will be okay. All you've got to do is make sure that you don't take money from some of these coins that are nicely holding their lows right now to go and buy into coins that are somewhere all the way up here, very close to nearing their kind of bull market tops, okay, or within like a 1 or 2x of their bull market top. Now guys, that should have been pretty useful. I will, in the days ahead, maybe share with you my own crypto portfolio and how I'm going to be managing the transitions between different coins, because obviously I'm starting to take some profits on some of the larger cap coins that I've been holding, okay, the Ethereums of this world, Solanas, Suis, etc. So once we start to take profits more dramatically, I'm going to be moving that money down into small and mid-cap coins. So make sure you're subscribed to be able to see all of what's going on with that. Also, over the weekend, I will update you on what's happening with the M2 money supply, Bitcoin, altcoins, and all of that good stuff. Guys, if you want to go and pick up any of the altcoins I've talked about today, make sure you sign up down below for either Bitunix or WEEX. These two exchanges do not require KYC, so wherever you are in the world, you're going to be able to access these exchanges, which is very important if you travel a lot like me. Also, these exchanges will list a lot of smaller cap coins, or any small cap coins I personally ask them to list. If you wish to have certain altcoins be listed on those platforms, let me know down below which altcoins, and I'll speak to the teams and see what I can do. Also, if you use my links exclusively, you're going to get some of the biggest deposits in the game, because I've been working with these exchanges pretty much longer than anyone else out there. Guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video and found it useful. Do me a favor, hit the like button, leave a comment down below, even if it's just a full stop, it really helps me out. Share this content with a friend or whatever else. Thank you very much. Have a great day. See you soon. Bye-bye.